Well, I started off with the Lehigh Gap Nature Center as a volunteer doing trail maintenance work with a crew down there, and proving myself reliable to them. They asked me if I would be the Hawkwatch intern at Koeun Knob. So I went up for the fall of 2011 to count hawks for them, and after that, in the springtime, I began working on this site for the remediation of the Superfund site. What happened here is that there was a zinc company called the New Jersey Zinc Company. They were based out of Palmerton, and they were a zinc smelting operation. And they gave off a good deal of air pollution that contained heavy metals like cadmium, zinc, lead, arsenic. And that is largely why you don't see a whole lot of healthy vegetation up here. So what we were working on doing was planting native species to this area to restore to what it had been prior to the impact of the zinc company. What you see behind you is the resource island, where we planted thousands of trees so that they will spread outside of the reach of the fence and create a forest similar to much of the rest of this area and similar to what it used to be. There were a variety of tasks that we had to do. The first part of the season we spent filling in holes with dirt. So what they did was they came up here with machines and they would drill holes, and then we would go around with buckets and fill each one in, and there's like thousands of holes. So we filled them in with dirt, and then after they were filled in with dirt, we came around with seeds or sometimes saplings of young trees and would plant them in these holes and then GPS the location of each one. What you see behind me here is the test plot, and the plantings that were done here were tests of different species to see what kind of viability they would have in this kind of environment. As you can see, there's a lot of what we call tubex, and that's to protect the plants from the wind. They're put in an enclosure so that deer will not graze on the plants while they mature. Because of the contamination, you'll see a lot of trees that wound up like this, where they're not even decayed because the heavy metal contamination was so widespread and so devastating to this area that bacteria wouldn't even grow to break these trees down and decompose them. It's very toxic soil, and it's very hard to establish any kind of life up here. Well, the results have been really mixed up here because a large portion of the trees don't make it much past the third year after being planted, and a lot of them spontaneously just die after about 3 years of growing, and that is believed to be because of metals uptake within the root system. The ones that live, a lot of them in the summertime, their leaves aren't even really a green color. They turn a yellowish color, and that's indicative of the metals that they've been taking up. It's hard to imagine that anytime soon there will be a healthy forest ecosystem up here, but one of the things that I really take away from this, I think, this place kind of tells its own story. It's barren and deserted, and it's the result of something that people did directly to it.